Many people across the community have already expressed major concerns about the upcoming Baki Dou anime releasing in 2026. We recently got the first trailer highlighting some animation to expect, which already has people saying it's mid or that their favourite PowerPoint anime has once again returned. We have manga readers complaining about Miyamoto's design in the anime compared to the manga, issues facing anime only fans potentially, alongside some pacing and episode count points to go over throughout today's video, so I hope you enjoy. So right off the bat, does Baki have bad animation? No. But does it have good animation? Also no. Meaning you could say it does meet the criteria of mid, and this has pretty much always been the case when it comes to the Netflix release of Baki animated by TMS Entertainment. Each season pretty much looks similar to the previous. There's certain moments that always stand out, normally key aspects in the fights, which I'm glad for, but when it comes to its entirety, there is a lot of manga panels colorized in a sense with pretty simple zoom-ins highlighted very clearly with the recent Baki Dou trailer, a very common trait, demonstrating that the anime doesn't really enhance that many aspects compared to the manga version of the story. On top of that, it's not like TMS Entertainment can't provide good animation. Many of you guys in the comments pointed out that Sakamoto Days Season 2, which was also created by them and recently came out, had pretty large improvements over Season 1, highlighting that they are indeed more than capable, but this once again relates to specific scenes and moments, not anime seasons in their entirety. Furthermore, just look at the Baki vs Kangen crossover film, also animated by this studio, which resulted in pretty major disappointment from many fans when it comes to the animation. And yes, this may seem overly aggressive or critical, but it's pretty much objective at this point. You cannot put Baki's anime season so far on the same level as series many would recognize as having good animation. Furthermore, it's been confirmed that TMS Entertainment has been outsourcing animation to Chinese studios, particularly for parts of episode 5. This could either be a good or bad thing. We really won't know until the episode and season actually comes out, but hopefully some improvements over all the previous content does actually occur. But other issues people have expressed is with the release of all the Baki seasons on Netflix, there's going to be a confusion when it comes to the watch order, as this is what it will look like for many people. So this is the main watch order for the anime. You begin with the first seasons of Grappler Baki, which unfortunately are not on Netflix and relate to the older anime. Hopefully sometime in the future we get a remake. Then you can start the Netflix releases with the one titled Baki. This has Season 1 Part 1, the start of the Most Evil Death Row Inmates arc. Then Season 1 Part 2, the conclusion of that. Then the Great Rottai Tournament Saga, which features the tournament arc between the Chinese fighters and then the Ali Jr. arc, finishing that section of Baki on Netflix. This can then be followed by the one titled Baki Hanma, which has 2 seasons. The first is Baki's mini imagination training arc, then when he goes into Oliver's prison, followed by Season 2, which is the Pickle arc, the Retsu boxing arc, Baki's mini training again, and then the father-son fight. Following that, you have Baki Dou, which is releasing next year. You can really watch the Baki vs Kangen crossover at any point technically, it doesn't really matter, and does have some callbacks to the original manga known as Grappler Baki, which I'll now go over the read order. So the first one, as I just mentioned, is Grappler Baki, the first manga. Then you have Hanma Baki, the second manga which concluded with the Ali Jr. arc. Then you have Baki Son of Ogre, Oliver Prison arc, Pickle arc, father-son fight. Then you have Baki Dou Part 1, the Miyamoto Musashi arc. Then you have Baki Dou Part 2, the Suma arc, and then the currently ongoing Baki manga known as Baki Rahen or the Jack Hanma arc. On top of all of that, you have many side manga that can be read at any point, apart from the Retsu Isekai manga, which has to be watched after Baki Dou, for the sake of certain spoilers, you can say. With there also being a side manga that was adapted into an anime episode where we got an update of what the prisoners are up to, but take note, that was just for promotion. They have not returned since their arc, at least outside of other side manga, which does have various goofy cameos and some playing semi-major roles as well. But when it comes to this season and the episode count and pacing, based on the amount of chapters and content within Baki Dou, the Miyamoto Musashi arc, it's probably going to be broken down into two parts. Part 1, 13 episodes, and then part 2, another 13, making up around 24 to 27 episodes to adapt the whole arc based on the pacing if they cover absolutely everything. This is also taking note that there is the possibility that they could cut content due to the brutality of a lot of stuff, but based on them pretty much showing everything in previous seasons, I'll say that likely won't be the case. But now I'll go over some major spoilers for what to expect in this season. You have been warned. So right off the bat, the two moments I'm excited to see people's reaction of who are anime onlys and hopefully aren't watching this section of today's video is the death of Retsu and Motobe stopping the clash between Miyamoto and Yujiro. Two things that should be occurring in part 1 of this season. For example, we begin with all the characters being bored, Baki versus the UFC fighter Goon, the Yujiro and Hanayama clash, then the resurrection of Miyamoto, where we get him destroy the current best swordsman in Japan, the first clash between him and Baki, pretty much where the first trailer released leaves off around chapter 30. We then have Miyamoto's fight with Doppo Orochi, followed by Baki continuing his training to prepare for a rematch. In between that, we get Retsu's whole mini arc and build up for his fight and death against the legendary samurai. That is then followed by a Goki interaction with Miyamoto, then the crazy Yujiro and Musashi fight, alongside some Motobe build up throughout, with the moment of Motobe cucking the conclusion of Yujiro vs Musashi potentially being the end of season 1, or they could animate a few more scenes such as the Jack vs Motobe fight and then Musashi seeing Pickle on the TV, which could also work very well when it comes to pretty much the middle of the Miyamoto Musashi arc and the volume releases as well. So either of those two work quite well. Therefore, with all this said, all my critiques out of the way, I am still very excited for this anime season and cannot wait for more trailers and for a official concise release date whenever it is in 2026.